Blackshirt wrestlers. I hope everybody's doing all right. I know it's been a pretty crazy couple of days since our banquet last week with the coronavirus pandemic kind of amping up, and of course, all our schools being temporarily shut down. So I just wanted to reach out to everybody to say first, just like I said at the banquet, let's be sure not to panic in this time, but let's make sure we're listening to what the scientists and doctors are telling us that are leading the fight against the coronavirus, so that we can try to slow down the spread of the virus as best as we can, and try to get life back to normal as quick as we can as well. And I know it's kind of a funny word to think about right now, normal. Life might not ever feel the same as it did before this thing hit, but we also, if we persevere, we can kind of develop a resolve that maybe we wouldn't have had the opportunity to develop before. So let's look at ways we can try to continue to get better during this time. I'm kind of stealing a page from Ben Askren. If you watched his Monday, what does he call them? His Mental Mondays, his Monday Mindset, whatever he calls them. He does something about just kind of mental development each Monday. And this week he talked a lot about what we can do during this social distancing time, this quarantine time, to keep getting better as wrestlers. Except I'm going to put a little bit of a Blackshirt twist on it. And so the first thing I'm going to tell you is you better do your homework. All right, we need to make sure that we're engaging with whatever online tasks our teachers are giving us and doing our part, whether no matter what class you're in right now. You might be a senior, kind of on your last couple of months here of school, and we don't know how long this thing's going to last. You got to get in there. You got to do your work. If you are not sure of something, or how to, if there's a new app that they're trying out, you're not sure, you have to ask, get it figured out. No matter what level you're at right now, got to do your work. That's number one. Number two, this is one of our main goals from the banquet as well, is we got to get stronger, right? And so obviously they're not letting anybody in the school, nor should they right now. We're going to keep those, that distance between each other right now. But that means you could still do plenty at home, and you could be going for runs. You don't have to see anybody when you're out on a run. But if you're talking about really getting stronger, are we doing here push-ups or pull-ups or squats at home? If you don't have a pull-up bar, find something that you can do pull-ups on. Make it up. Do some incline push-ups, decline push-ups. So you got your hands up on a chair, or your feet up on a chair, all those sorts of things. Trying to build some strength right now, and you could do plenty of stance and movement. And you can always get better at stance and movement. You can always do more stance and movement. Maybe you're not in shape for it right now. Start out with some smaller sets, 20, 30 seconds, stance and movement, then a 10-second rest. And you're doing that for a couple times a day, repeats, and then maybe you start to try to stretch that time to where you're be able to sit in your stance for a pretty extended period of time. So you can do some shadow wrestling, some things like that, where you don't need a lot of space and you don't need any equipment, right? So there's things you could do to be strength training, to be training for wrestling, and to be working on that condition, that cardio as well. Another thing, if you're looking to just improve as a wrestler, and hey, we're all going to be a little bored here at times, you can watch wrestling. I think I've said that before. Oh yeah, I think I have. Watch wrestling. And there are so many great places out there that are sharing technique videos, from Flow Wrestling to, you can find it on YouTube, but you can find it on a lot of different people's websites. But I'm also talking about, and that's great stuff, but I'm also talking about just watching full matches. That was something Ben said on his video on Twitter as well. But this is something that once you start doing it, you kind of get hooked. I start watching United World Wrestling, and it started out where I was only wanting to watch stuff that had the announcers, so they could kind of tell me what was going on, especially with the scoring of freestyle or Greco. But now, I'll just sit and watch, and it doesn't even always have to be USA wrestlers. I'll just sit and watch some freestyle or Greco international match, and kind of get invested in one guy who seems to be working a little bit harder, and you get a little amped up for him, hoping he starts, you're pulling for him, hoping he wins, and it gets fun, it gets exciting. You start to learn about situational wrestling, as well as the scoring and just the flow of a match. So there's plenty out there for Big Ten Network or a lot again on YouTube of different collegiate wrestling, and you can find plenty of highlight tapes and all that kind of stuff as well. Watch some old stuff. The other day I was just watching who was it? Ironside versus Kerry Colott, and that was just a great match, and that one would be one to check out. But I digress. Watch wrestling. And then the last thing that I'm going to steal this again from Ben right away is to read. And he mentioned just reading all kinds of people who are successful. Find books of people who have maybe overcome some adversity of some kind or have really worked on their resolve or their mental toughness. And it doesn't matter what the field is. He was talking about different sports, but it also could be in or out of the field of sports or athletics. One of mine that I read last year, one of my favorite ones for a while was Can't Hurt Me, which was the story of a Navy SEAL who's just done some pretty crazy and amazing things. He became an ultra runner and held the world's record for most pull-ups in a day for a time. But there was just some crazy stuff that he did that he was able to overcome in his mind. And that's, I think, what Ben was talking about. It doesn't matter if it's athletics or not. If you can find some books written by people who have had some level of success, especially I feel like if they've overcome some adversity to achieve that success, that there's something you might be able to pull out of that story. So I'm encouraging you to read. We'll kind of run this back. To read, to watch some wrestling, to strength train. There's so much you can do at home. You might not have gone to borrow some wrestling mats from a friend, and I'm gonna put Elias through the paces here. He's gonna go through a 28-day intensive Coach Green camp here. He's either gonna be a pretty tough second grader when he's done, or he's gonna hate dad and hate wrestling. But no, we'll do all right with that. But I'm saying you may not have gone and done that, but there's plenty of stuff you can do. You can get out and again get for a run, do some push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups. Watch some videos online for that too. You can find different workouts you can do with things around the house. And I'm not just talking about dips on a chair or something like that. I'm talking about all kinds of different stuff you can do to continue to build muscle, build endurance, become better at wrestling, even while you're kind of stuck not interacting with anybody. So again, I hope everything's going well for you. If you're struggling at all for ideas for a workout, if you're struggling at all for just mentally you're a little bit fatigued by some of what's going on, and it's going to be a while. So if that starts to crop up at all, please reach out to myself. You guys all have my number, or any of your coaches. We would love to chat. I mean, hey, we're gonna be struggling a little bit at times as well, for sure. So we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to your teammates, talk to each other on every other way that you guys always do anyway. Just not face to face right now. So again, wish you guys well, and hope to hear from you all soon.